Hi, I'm Steve Ehrmann. That's Ehrmann. Our father was always particular about the pronunciation of our family name. His father was from Germany, and about 6 generations before him, a Jewish forefather had chosen the name Ehrmann for himself. It means man of honor. My friend Steve Gilbert has asked me to do an eClip introduction of myself, telling a little about me that maybe other people might not know, and also then answering a couple of his fundamental questions about my commitments to education. Our dad was a force of nature. He was a traveling salesman, selling sporting goods like badminton and croquet to retail stores and department stores. He'd travel for days and weeks at a time, often by air in the 1950s and 1960s. He'd most often fly in a TWA Constellation, the most beautiful passenger plane I've ever seen. My mom, brother John, and I would go to the airport with him in the car to drop him off. We'd watch the Connie fly away. And then days later, we'd come back to the airport gate, no security then, and watch another constellation circle the field and land and see my father walk across the field toward us. Then we'd have a great restaurant lunch or dinner and drive home. Some of my love of flight and airplanes and airports was born in those many visits to the Pittsburgh airport. My mom. Do it because I told you to was something our mother almost never said. There was always a reason. That's one thing I remember about her. Another is that our family would sometimes travel for 3 to 6 weeks in the summer. My mother planned all those vacations. They were gems of relaxation and sightseeing. She always laughed at the jokes my brother and I would crack in the car, even when Dad didn't quite see the humor. There's nothing more important to me than Leslie and Chris. That's Leslie and me in the top photo on a recent visit to New York City to help Chris celebrate his 27th birthday. In addition to his day job as a photo editor, he's an entertainer. MIT, that's where I got the degree in aeronautical and astronautical engineering. That doesn't mean I know rocket science, however. Evergreen was where I had to teach myself evaluation, and my 20 years at FIPSI and Annenberg CPB were my postdoctoral education about higher ed, as taught through reading grant proposals. So don't blame me for my understanding the world. That's where I got it. I worked with my old friend Steve Gilbert at the American Association for Higher Ed for about a year before we started the nonprofit TLT group, initially as an affiliate of AHE. Roughly speaking, the first bullet on this slide is where Steve Gilbert has made the greater contribution, while I've spent somewhat more time on the second. But the two are interdependent, and we both work on both of them. I still feel like we're just getting started in figuring out what that combination means. Here are the first of Steve's two fundamental questions. I've never taught evaluation or innovation in a doctoral program, so I haven't had students in that sense. So I really would love to believe that these ideas that I play with and test, that they have some life outside my own head and outside my own work, that others will use those ideas and like them and improve them and pass them along. I hope the second one of these doesn't sound too hokey, but we see danger signs that universities didn't do quite a good enough job educating the people who are in government today, the people who are trying to regulate education. Maybe don't understand it as well as they should, because too many of those folks act as though education were a machine with a crank to turn and performance standards to meet. I don't know where they got that idea, but it's not quite right. We need to conserve and pass along the belief that education is not just a machine. Well, by now you know I'm an evaluator, so I'd like you to evaluate this with me. This is an experiment. Was it worth it for you to hear and see an introduction of me as an eClip? Please think about this as something that I created for you and for your needs, and let me know whether it met those needs. For example, it took a little longer to listen to this than it would have taken to read it. Would it have been better in print? Better as a streaming video where you could have seen me talking? Maybe better if it were shorter or longer. Let me know. My email is on each one of these slides. Thanks very much.